In a world without borders, we are one. Breaking through the lines with love we've begun. Every voice, every story, we share the light. Together we rise into the night. World without borders, hearts open wide. We're stronger together on this ride. With every connection, the world's inside. One step closer to shining bright.
Hi everyone. So happy Christmas Eve today. So today is 24th December and we are here to be happy to share about our culture and experience about Christmas in Brazil, in South Africa, in Cameroon, and at the US because me and Suzy, we are living in the US for a while. So
Yes.
yeah, so let me ask you, Suzy. So, can you start telling us about your experience with Christmas?
You want me to sing? We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, guys. Oh, I love Christmas. You can see my shirt. It's my favorite time of the year. And it's Christmas reminds me of one thing, family, and the joy of just being with family. Together, sharing gifts. It's just so beautiful because back home, Christmas was always the best period for me because I buy gifts and I get to share. I get to smile a lot more than I do. I get to receive gifts from other people and also get to go to every auntie I've not visited during the year to just go and eat and drink. That was the objective of Christmas. And it made it successful. And also it's a period where the family we have family dinner. We back home we do not usually have family dinner. I have very huge family, but during Christmas we do have family dinner. Everybody comes together on the table, we eat together, and sometimes the eating round that makes us angry sometimes. It's like my father stands up and say, okay, we are starting with the small children today, and we hate it because all the small children will have to dish themselves first, and then the older children will have to wait and then this have the food at last, the remaining, and we hated it because we had a very big family. But yeah, that's what Christmas brings to me, the joy of being together with people you love.
Yeah. What about you, Megan? So, tell me, how was your Christmas?
Oh, so the season, Renata, thank you. The season for us is, I think, more about relaxing and getting into, like Susie said, the family time. Lots of good food, I think, around Christmas itself. And also just we are typically on school holidays and, we tend to take a break from work, most of us. And so it's about the beach and the outdoors, and most people go camping and just depending on what it is that you get up to over that period, lots of it will involve friends and family. So it's definitely a social time for us in South Africa.
Yeah, that's interesting when you say about the beach because for me, I have the same experience. For me, in Brazil, Christmas was always summer. So, and it's always holidays. So people are enjoying the light, the day, and it's different than the Christmas that we have in Hollywood movies, with snow and cold and jackets. We are in our bikinis now, so it's a little bit different. Yeah.
For
And
sure.
we all but we have a lot of things in common. So we all talked about the family together and the food. So I want to dig more about food. What kind of food does the family prepare for the Christmas Eve?
Oh,
So how
Yeah.
is it around, Susie?
So we prepare like chicken, fish, things like these are things you see a lot on Christmas. Chicken, fish, plantains, traditional meal. Like it's like a combination of everybody cooks and brings to the house. So everybody, whether you're married or not, you cook on your in your heart, where you are, and then when the family comes together, everybody brings a piece of it, and it's just like the amazing thing is not even the food, is the fact that you eat together and you can eat everything, then fall asleep the next day. I love that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And how is it in South Africa?
Renata, for us, well, for my family, Christmas Eve celebrations are not really a thing. It never really has been. But there are so many families that actually have a Christmas Eve dinner in South Africa, and that's their time together for the Christmas period. For us, it's been more about typically we would be meeting with my husband's family on Christmas Day, and with my side of the family on Boxing Day, right? And then in between all of that, your friends and family that are added to either mix. But for us, the food is because of the weather. Obviously, we do a lot of barbecuing. So the braai that we do in South Africa, we do a lot of fireside camping, that kind of thing. So the food goes along with that, and then some good salads and just easy foods, right? And cold foods, lots of fruit, lots of cold drinks, lots of good drinks, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think for us the tradition is also the chicken and the roast meats and that kind of thing. But over the last few years, there seems to be quite a shift away from the traditional meats and tables and tables of food, and people are just like downscaling and just doing everything in a more relaxed way, I think. So a lot of more people are doing the barbecue on Christmas Day or around Christmas time rather than sitting down to a 6-course meal or 4-course meal like we used to. But the dessert's always there.
What kind of desserts? Do you have special desserts for Christmas Eve, or it's like,
There's normally a variety. So trifle is a big one for people. So trifle is the mixed dessert. It's very similar. People say it's very similar to the what they call Eaton's mess overseas, but it's a layered dessert with jelly and sponge and custard and all of those nice things stacked. And the weird thing is, I love making trifle for people, but I don't eat it. I don't eat all of those pieces all mixed together. So I love jelly and I love custard and I love everything that goes into it, but I don't eat it all as one big bowl of something, right? So for me, it's always about having alternatives. And with me, having a fridge tart or a nice decadent chocolate cake always works. Always.
so any
Definitely.
special dessert in Cameroon?
I don't think we do have. I don't have a special dessert. It's like fruit, a lot of fruit, or cake, icing cake. There's nothing special. I don't know if I've never noticed it. Anything special about the dessert? I think it's here in the US that I've learned a lot of special dessert, making a snowman, making cookies for Christmas. I spent a lot of Christmas, all my Christmas I spent with different families. So we were doing different things and different tradition, hot chocolate, things like that. We really,
Mm,
I knew it
yes.
here, but back home it's more like normal dessert you eat. But during the celebration period, there is much more. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Wow, in my reality, because I'm not going to talk about Brazil because it's so big, so different realities for sure, and the food is very different in every region. So, but in my mom's house, we used to have turkey and potato salad and some rice always, and farofa. Farofa is a food from Brazil, from a root in, what is the name? It's I don't remember. And it's delicious, and I miss that a lot. And some people have some fruits for sure. The nuts, we eat a lot of nuts during the Christmas. And panettone, I don't know if you guys know panettone. Panettone, it's like a Italian cake with some crystallized fruits, and I
Yes.
love it. I love it. And we just eating Christmas. That's why I asked them about special things just that we can buy on Christmas.
Okay.
And yeah, and people in my family, we used the dinner of the 24th was the biggest party, and the next day we eat the leftovers, we
And
still
sleep.
have, yeah. So because I know some tradition, the 25 is the most important, no?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
in my family was the 24th
I
eve.
think in mine too, we celebrate the 24th and the 31st, and then the first we sleep. Like literally, literally do that.
Yeah, and the fruits, because I think we come from more tropical countries, and I'm sure the delicious fruits in South Africa and Cameroon
Mm.
too. And that's one of the things that I miss most living in the US is, oh my God, the fruits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think of like we have what we call plums. I really love plums, and I really haven't had it here, and I'm just like craving it. I was like, I just want plums somewhere in this country. Can I find some?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, and we eat a lot of cheese too during Christmas. At least in my family, we used to eat a lot of cheese.
I
Yeah,
think for us it's an American thing. Eat cheese every day. You breed
it
cheese.
is. It is an American thing.
Yeah,
It,
it's in West Virginia where I was. Everything is cheese. They eat cheese. They breed cheese. In the morning you eat cheese. In the afternoon you eat cheese. In the evening you eat cheese. I was like, ha, which kind of cheese have I found in this country like this?
wow, the Europeans
The
eat a lot
cheese
of
factory.
cheese too.
They
Yeah,
eat a lot of cheese.
Yeah.
so
And
Africans don't like
variety.
so much cheese.
I think we eat cheese regularly, but most people don't do like the mixed cheeses and cheese boards unless they've got an occasion. Most times it will be like your standard cheddars that you make salmis with and that kind of thing for the day to day. And what I love about the occasions, the special occasions is when they make the cheese boards and you've got your fruit and your figs and your nuts and your
Mm.
cheeses and everything all on the same board, and you can just sit and nibble all day. I love that, although I'm not very experimental as far as cheese goes. So as far as I'm concerned, cheddar is cheese, right? And there's a few cheeses that I'll eat besides and nothing more. So I'm not very experimental there, but I love the way they actually present it. So I always look at that over the special occasions and holidays.
Mm,
So
very nice.
as we talked about food, I think we have to talk about someone that's very special in Christmas. Is Santa Claus. So how is Santa Claus in your culture? And does the kids believe that Santa Claus exists? And when do you tell the kids like, oh, this is just, yeah, just a fantasy?
I will stand up to say something that is very funny. I believed in it till I was 16. I know that's very late, but I didn't believe in Santa Claus till I was 16 years old, and I thought it was still a thing because every Christmas you had this gift. Always, it never fails. There and
Yeah.
my uncle used to tell me you have to write a letter to Santa Claus. If you're being a good girl, Santa Claus will read your letter, or else Santa Claus will not read your letter. So between October and December, I was the best child you could ever ask for. Just for Christmas. As soon as Christmas crossed, I was like, just leave all these things. Not for me. Just I had what I wanted. I just changed suddenly. But
It was
I believed
cheating
I was
Santa Claus.
yes. And they were doing he was doing it so well that I found the gifts in the car in the morning when we used to go to church for the service. The gifts is in the car, packed, and it was what I asked of Santa Claus. Like I loved dolls when I was little a lot, so it was always a different doll every Christmas, and I was just like, wow, Santa Claus is really. And I write my letter everything. Even sometimes I ask money. I was like, oh, I need $10, and I found it. So I believed in it till I was 16. I know it's not a thing, but
How did you
I did
find it?
eh?
How did you find it?
That it wasn't true.
Yeah.
Because
How
one day I saw
did
he
you
went and bought
realize
the
that?
gift, and I saw it in his room before Christmas, and I was like, you were lying to me all these years, 16 years already. And I was like, me myself, how did I believe this thing was 16 years?
That's so cute.
I did.
But
I did.
it was fun while it lasted, Susie.
It was, and I definitely tell if I have it when I have it, I'll tell him to believe in it. It is true. It makes you because of that. I was always living in that magic period. For me, Christmas is a magic period. It's like there's like this magic in Christmas that brings make people happy, make people
Yes.
happier, make people want to be good and just nice. So I love that. So even when I left the mindset of okay, Father Christmas doesn't exist, I was like, if it doesn't exist, why can I not be one? So that was my mindset. So during Christmas, I give gifts to people because in my head, I'm like, okay, if it doesn't exist, I want to be that one that put a smile on somebody's face. So just because I
Yes.
believed in it so bad, really, I was so much into it. I still laugh at myself when I think that since 16 years.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you for
awesome.
sharing. Beautiful. What about
That
you,
is.
Megan? So, how was Santa Claus for you?
So we were also, I'm the youngest of three kids, and we were also at the very beginning definitely believed in Santa Claus. I can't remember when the myth was busted in my world, but suddenly I realized, okay, there's something to this thing where you've got to write down a wish list, give it to your parents to give it to Santa Claus, right? And I think, if I remember correctly, I actually caught my parents wrapping gifts 1 year. And so for me, that was the end of the belief system of Santa Claus. But what I did, well, I loved what I was doing with my daughter when she was younger. So, kids from very young, she was about 2 or 3 years old. We used to, on Christmas Eve, put out milk and cookies for Santa and the reindeer. So we would tell her this whole story about how they would come and visit and bring our gifts and all of those things. And we would put out a few cups of milk and a few biscuits on plates, and we would put thank you notes and everything else out for Santa. And then we'd say to her, we need to sleep early tonight, otherwise they're not going to be able to make all their rounds. And so she had no problem getting into bed on Christmas Eve because tomorrow morning Santa would have come. And during the night, my husband and I would have to get up and walk. We'd throw flour on the floor or icing sugar and walk with our shoes through it, like there were so many people and hooves walking through it. And we would drink all the milk and eat half of the biscuits and leave some crumbs, and then just leave like a cute little note from Santa and the reindeer saying, thank you so much for refueling us for the rest of our journey. Have a good Christmas, and off we go. And she loved it. She loved it until I don't know when. It just happened one day, and she just said to us, you guys have been fooling me for all this time. So I don't believe in Santa anymore. And literally today, we had that discussion in the kitchen. She said to us, she's 16 now, and she just said, I can't believe you guys made me believe that for so long. So that childhood enjoyment of the Christmas mystery is all gone in my house. It's all gone.
But it sounds fun. It sounds very, very fun. I loved it. I
I
love the
loved it.
story. Yes.
Yeah, I loved
I
doing
don't
it.
know. You don't even realize how impactful it is in the child's life till the child actually grow up. Because I didn't realize how important it was to me to find that gift
Right.
every time when I knew that okay, Santa doesn't exist. In my head, I was like, I want to be Santa. If it doesn't exist, I want to be able to give that same smile they give me every without failing every Christmas to somebody else. So I did that for my sisters, for my brothers. I go and shop 24th, I make shop and I spend all my money making wrapping the gift. That surprise. But they know it's me that's giving them the gift. But just the fact of giving a gift to somebody for Christmas and buying like sweets and candies and sharing it in the street. I go to my like quarter and I have this in a basket and the children pass and just give them like Merry Christmas. I am so happy. It just made my Christmas doing things like that. So it was for me, Christmas is still the best period. And I'll still do it again and again and again. I'll still believe in it again. If I was 16 years, I would still want to believe in it.
That's awesome, Susie. I love that. I just I just feel that it's almost like our kids today, they just so much wiser
They're
than
still
that
wise
we
for their
were
age.
as kids, right? They're
Mm.
just way too wise for us. And so you start having conversations with little kids about Santa Claus, and then they say, but Santa doesn't exist. And I'm like, how do you not believe in Santa at
I'm
that
telling you,
age?
how can you not? I still believe. in my back of my brain, I still believe that he exists, that he gives me gifts every Christmas.
There we go. Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah. I was raised in almost a Jewish neighborhood. So the Christmas was not for everybody. And all my Jewish friends loved to come to see the Christmas tree in my place, like they were very curious and about the food, about our traditional, because in some way it's very strong, like the media, the movies on TV, everybody's talking about Christmas, no? So for the ones that don't have Christmas, I think it brings a lot of curiosity too. And and I think that was when I started to understand, like, the difference of cultures and how we can live together enjoying different aspects of that. And so now that we had talked about food and Santa Claus, let's talk a little bit about this religion part, the spiritual part of Christmas. That's so important. That's what brings us to this point. It's um, that the meaning of Christmas, no? So, how was it? Did you go to the mass in the day? Did you pray with the family before eat? Uh, how was it,
So
Susie?
for yeah. So for me, we used to go to church. We go to church in the morning with mom and sisters and everybody. Everybody goes to his own church. At a certain level, everybody has his own church. So we don't care. We just go. You have to be home at 1 p.m. Always have to be home at 1 p.m. And at 1 p.m. we do family dinners. So at Christmas we buy new dresses back home. Everything that shines. You must have a
Yes.
new dress and a new hair for Christmas. So we will have so you are just like brand new for Christmas and New Year. So we have brand new dresses all the time. So you wear your dress, you shower and put on makeup, whatever you put on, and come out so shiny, ready. And that was the beauty of Christmas. I think the new dresses, the gifts, and all these, and also it represents the birth of Christ in our section. So they say the best gift we can give to Christ was our soul. So our mother always says the best gift you can give to Christ was your soul, and be a good child and all this. So that was the idea we had. And we also, for us, is more like giving gift to people. That is the tradition they gave us. Like Christmas is about putting a smile on somebody else's face. So even of somebody else's face. So even in church, we used to do that a lot. We used to buy gifts and give to the homeless, buy things, and I love that activity, like being the Santa Claus to somebody else. So that is what Christmas meant to me, and hopefully to my family.
Nice.
Beautiful. Yeah.
That is awesome.
What
And
about you,
thank
Meg?
you. Thanks, Renata. So, Susie, you just reminded me of something when you spoke about the new clothes, right? So that's really a thing. That was a thing in South Africa
Yeah.
growing up. And I think for a lot of people today still, it's that Christmas outfit. So people just
Yes.
like go, they want to dress up and they want to, especially the kids, they like dress to the nines. And
Mhm.
most times, depending on which religion you subscribe to, people would go to what we call the midnight mass. And so it's the mass that starts on Christmas Eve, late evening, and it goes it stops just after midnight on Christmas Day. So you're actually at church going into Christmas. And as a child, when we attended that mass, I always fell asleep because, asking me to stay up from 10 o'clock until midnight in church was just too much. But we all
Really.
went. That was just part of the tradition, and it's something that we still do. A lot of families still do.
Do you remember we bring blankets and follow
Yes,
up because it's so cold at night, and you bring all of that to just be able to do that service, and you
right,
must do it, or else you're not coming
right.
to the safe house.
Exactly. And I remember a lot of Christmases where, although we're at the heart of our summer, it normally rained on Christmas morning for many years. So we always had that cold overnight leading into
Mm.
Christmas. And so typically the blankets would go along and that type of thing as well. But I think for me, the fact that we had that church service and then everybody got to go home, and either the families would open their gifts immediately because it's already Christmas then by the time they get home, or some families go to bed and then they wake up tomorrow morning. And you know that story when the kids are awake before the parents because they want to open the gifts, and the parents are still sleeping because they've been up cooking and cleaning and doing
Yeah.
everything else besides, going to church. And then the kids are up at sunrise already waiting to open
Shouting.
the gifts. And the parents are like, give me a break. I just need to
I go
sleep
and wake
another
them
hour.
up. I don't wait.
Yes,
I go and wake them up.
yes.
I'm like, mommy, mommy, open the door. Like, I need my gift right
I
now.
think so.
It's like, it's
I
6
think
a.m.
so.
I'm like, can I wait?
Yeah, we also had that excitement, and so the parents knew they would get no rest if they didn't just get up and give the gifts to us, right? And so that was typically for us, on the traditional sort of religious side of it. It was that mass or Sunday morning mass, not Sunday, Christmas morning mass. So you could attend either, and depending on whether you're traveling or friends and family are coming to you for lunch and you've got preparation, you could choose which mass you're attending. But the fact is that you attending church at some point over that 2 day period, and then going on with all the happy celebrations.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. In my family, we didn't go to the church, but we always prayed together before the dinner and celebrate, the beauty about Christmas and to be grateful for everything and blessed. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It was, and we were around the table and everybody, say something why they are grateful for. Yeah.
Nice. I love that.
Us, we
Yeah.
were had. I remember all our dinner. There was just so much argument. As long as we are all together, we just argue. There was a thing we have to argue for. Either the children that have to start first. There is always something. So you always end up with a house that is quiet to a house that there is so much noise, just shouting them, shouting right there, and you were just so happy in that atmosphere, and you
Yeah.
were just. Oh, I loved it, and you put music.
Music, champagne, some wine. Of
Oh,
course.
we're not allowed to drink to drink when the parents are there. As soon as they lock that door, it's another version of the
Oh,
Christmas you have in
you
your
cannot
house.
drink in front of your parents?
No, we were not allowed to. My father had a bar in the house. You know those in our living room. My father had a whole bar with all kinds of drinks in it. So I remember as soon as he shut that door, we just go and steal the drinks, and then whatever happens tomorrow is like is next year. So he's gonna forgive us because we have the policy we don't carry the hatred or the pain you have for somebody the next year. So you have to forgive
Ah,
this year. So on the 31st, we go and get you angry, and when you get in the money, like forgive. It was last year, just forgive
that's classic.
and things like that. So, but yeah.
Funny. Yeah, great. And we used to see the gifts on the 24th for sure because, we
Mhm.
were all kids, and who wanna wait? And now with my nephews and my niece, yeah, they want wow, in the first December, they want the gift already. Like,
Yeah,
why wait until 24? But we wait. But
yeah, it's
it
just
Oh
so
my
funny.
so the kids don't believe in Santa Claus anymore. I think it's another generation,
I
but
want my kids to believe in it.
it's still I think
I hope they do.
to have the Christmas tree at home, like this feeling of closing the year and with some hope for the next one. Yeah.
yes.
I hope my kids do believe in Santa Claus. I will tell them I believe. They'll
Well,
have to.
I'm sure they have no choice, but they
I
will.
know, guys. See, I love Christmas. During Christmas, I want my whole house to be like bling bling.
I
After
can
the
imagine.
decoration,
Yeah.
everything must shine. I was like, this on the 1st of December. As soon as we cut December, I'm like, hey, everything's already shining.
Yeah.
Oh my
Even to
goodness.
have the house that, tourist goes to take pictures on Christmas.
Yes,
Yes.
as soon as we say Thanksgiving is done, Christmas is already up. The next day, it was already off. And we remove Christmas beginning February. Just how long it stays? It stays like for 2 months. Beginning of February,
Yeah.
remove.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. So
That's
I think that's it. We love Christmas, and I want to wish again Merry Christmas to everyone, to Megan,
Christmas.
to Susie, and to
You.
everybody that's watching us. Have a beautiful Christmas. It doesn't matter what kind of culture you have, celebrate because that's life and that's the most important. And
Thank you. Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
We're crossing oceans, crossing skies, lifting each other as we rise. No more limits, no more walls. Together we answer the world's calls. We're without borders, we are free, telling the stories of humanity. No more divide, we stand as one. Together, together, our journey's begun.